Damn it, Ginger. I love you, but you nuked me. You nuked me. You nuked me. I'm back. I'm not gonna watch that. No way in hell. Oh, we got smoted. We got stricken down by the gods. Mm-hmm. Hmm. You know, I should have planned out more stuff than that. Ugh. Hmm. I actually must use the restroom. Yeah, we back. I'll be right back, y'all. That coffee this morning is summoning me to the restroom. I'm gonna, unfortunately, Hassan you guys. Yeah, the content ID system gets me every time. I guess I just have to do really small videos. You know what I mean? Like I can't do. Like even Ren gets me, bro. They nuke my channel. So I guess when I do big videos like that, or ones that are like really big that are like known in the algorithm, I'm just gonna have to do that as a video by itself. I gotta bounce anyway. All right, Ty. Well, thank you so or Tay. Thank you so much for watching, man. But enjoy your toilet break, bro. I never enjoy them, bro. They're terrifying. But I'm gonna switch it to full cam. You guys can check out the figures or whatever. I'll be right back. Oh, get Elon Musk back on the wall, bro. Shing. I can hear my footsteps in the goddamn as I'm coming. I can see it fucking every time I walk it moves the mic audio. Wait, where did I just put my headset? Oh, over here. I don't know either. I feel like people put their whole screen as the music and they don't pause. Really, so I don't know why they I think people get whitelisted, or I don't know how it works, man. It's very strange. I don't know why my channel just gets nuked. I don't I don't know. Or what happens is, so my problem is I have DVR set up. I think that's what it is. Because technically you can catch any of my streams in the live tab after they're done. So because technically they're saving to YouTube, maybe that's why it then starts hunting for the content ID, because it's processing now as we're talking. So usually by the time I end my stream, the video can be fully watched again. So, oh, like big bands that are with UMG and shit. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't get how some people get away with it, dude. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. Again, it could just be because I technically save my videos into my thing, so if people want to go catch the full stream, they can. But by doing that, that could be open. There's a reason why a majority of content creators don't leave that as an option. And then they just upload it later. I don't know, man. Unfortunately. You saw Ren? Wait. Okay. It's not like you're Knox Hill or anything. Yeah, dude. I'm a little guy, dude. I don't get any help from Google. Like, they're not making any ad money off of me, bro. Like, I make 30 cents a video. They probably make like $2.50. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know what this is from. Trump needs to take responsibility. Goes off in an explosive impromptu debate. Who's this with?
Exactly. You just want to keep on saying.
I don't understand. Hold on. I'm going to repeat this one more time, and I'm done. I don't know why people keep asking me to say the same thing over and over again. You do not unilaterally disavow. You say Donald Trump needs to turn down the temperature. Once I hear him calling for disavow, we would love to follow suit. The temperature won't lower until he does it. When you say that they control the media, therefore, like, you know, we have to be careful about giving them ammunition. They fabricate ammunition. That you will never be able to. You shouldn't waste any time trying to quell every single thing that's said on your side when the other side is like an open civil war dialogue. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort, and it'll never be successful. You should just.
All right, man. Here we go. Destiny is wrong. A majority of people that vote in our country, well, in America, I think not even half the country is voting. Let's just, hold on, before I run my mouth, let's get some facts straight. USA population. Whoop. Population 2025. 347 million people. Okay. And then what we're talking, 80 times 80. Oops, no, wait. 84. No. So wait, how many people voted in the last election? USA. So damn, she got beat. So we have 300 million people in America. Of that 300 million people, only 140 million people in America voted. So less than what? That's barely half of the total amount of people that live in the United States participated in the last election. What do we don't need to appeal to the left or like the far left. We don't need to appeal to the right. We don't need to even appeal to a moderates. More and more people every day are waking up in America to how hard their life is, and for good reason. Donald Trump got in office, said he was going to lower prices. He didn't. We've seen political rhetoric from the right be unhinged as fuck. When he says he uses the prisoner's dilemma to justify not calling out violence. The problem is, by being as unhinged as the right, we're alienating people that might be willing to participate in the next election. If the reason why Martin Luther King Jr. was so successful with the civil rights movement was because they were sprayed by fire hoses, attacked by dogs, and would not participate in violence. The average American turned on the TV and saw one group of people being fucking tormented by the system that is designed to protect Americans, regardless of skin color, race, ethnicity. By changing the hearts and minds of those that didn't give a fuck, more people probably came out and voted along the lines to like end that kind of fucking behavior. If we do not call out the violence and we just say we're going to wait for Trump to do the goddamn job, yeah, maybe we can win political points with our base. But what are we saying to those that aren't tuned in to politics, but they might be entering the fray because their lives are going under hardship, because they have loved ones that were deported, or because raising prices or inflation or whatever? I usually more and more every year, more people tune in to vote. And more people that were in their early 20s that didn't care about politics are going to be old enough to where they're going to start seeing how policies affect their everyday life. He's forgetting an important part of the equation. The half of the people of our country that aren't part of the electorate, that aren't participating in the game. We need to win those people over with cool heads, confident arguments, and facts and logic. He keeps saying that we're going to work ourselves into genocide, and that very well may be a possibility. You know, if we keep capitulating to the right, we could end up putting ourselves in a terrible situation. But we have to, like, it's not a zero-sum game right now. We still have half the country that we can appeal to. And we can appeal to them with good argumentation, good logic, and good reasoning. This is where I think Destiny might be wrong. I don't think that we need to buckle down and treat them like the way they treat us. As long as we have one unhinged party, we had one election where Donald Trump won. And he won because we saw massive inflation due to COVID, and people's lives were negatively impacted. So they were more likely to buy into some of the evil shit that was happening. But now we're seeing that that's not changing under Trump. Right now, if we can maintain the party of decency and basic humanity and humility, we could probably win over people who don't vote. Like, it's fucking crazy. And especially now that we have Israel-Palestine going the way that it's going, we're more likely to get the people that chose to set out this election over that particular issue, because now they're seeing that there's negative consequences for their inaction. I think that Destiny is wrong in his analysis here, which is crazy because inflation is legit much worse. Yes, exactly. I think that we need to be graceful in what's happening. Now that doesn't mean we just like bend over and let the MAGAs do everything. We should be starting getting ready for some form of self-defense. MAGA right now is heavily pushing civil war. And if it heads that way, we need to be ready. Because people's lives are on the line. The people we love's lives are on the line. Violence isn't the worst case scenario, like Destiny will point out, probably in this one, because I've watched him do it in another conversation he had. The worst case is that one party might get eradicated. I don't think it's going to be that extreme, but we need to change it up a little bit, man. I don't think this is the direction to go, but I do think that we should be way more in people's face over some shit.
Just be pressuring the other side to bring it down, because they'll
So
find
what's
any
the
piece of
solution?
ammunition they want. What I just said. Every time somebody's asked to disavow anything, they should just say Donald Trump should do it first, and then we'll all follow suit.
Knowing that it will help legitimize their position.
Their
because
position
they'll-
is already fully legitimate to them. What do you mean?
True.
No, to their audience.
Well, then fine. Then the position will be legitimized to their audience.
Because they act as if it's in
At
self-defense.
some point, we have to move away from the optics obsession into from the world of fantasy and come back to the real world and actually care about things that are true and real. It can't constantly be, how can we entertain this delusion to the maximum extent possible while treating half the country like retarded children? The reality is that Donald Trump needs to turn down the rhetoric, and he should. It can't be this obsessive, like, well, shouldn't we lie about our position and lie about what we should all do so that the retarded children audience that are all being manipulated? Like, no, that's so stupid. Like, there's a clear morally right answer, and I think pragmatically, I think it's the right answer as well. The idea that we should obsessively try to pragmatically, I think it is the correct answer.
It hasn't been working now. I don't know how it could work if they dominate the media, if Trump is
Wait, what do you mean it
unhinged, if
hasn't been working
people
now?
agree,
The
if they
disavowal has
fabricate
been what we've
ammunition.
tried, and that hasn't worked at all.
Okay, he's got a point there. For like the last 20 years, almost every time an incident happens, the Democrats are always willing to disavow any craziness on their side. And we're not seeing that on the right. At least not within the last 10 years.
Well, you guys really, well, the Dems aren't really unified. They don't, I mean, you guys are fractured on the left. You have the Dems, then you have the crazy commies, the Hassan Pikers.
Those people
I
aren't
think-
politically relevant, though. The only reason they're as big in the media as they are is because they're on social media because the right talks about them all the time.
Exactly, and they use them to point to Democrats.
Okay, so how do we tone down Hassan Piker's rhetoric or Vosh's rhetoric?
Well, if you got the whole Democrat Party to all of a sudden just try and all at the same time push the message that we're not a part of the radical left, like a proper campaign.
You can't.
Like,
We
we're
already
not
tried.
part-
We've tried that a million times. There's no way to do that fully. And even if we did, they still called Obama a communist. Like, how are you going to separate? There's just no way.
But then you won't have as much. You will see all accountability that the Republicans want from you because you can just shift it over to the radical left. Because they always use the radical left to blame it on you. If you say
Then I would rather die than have to live a lie for the rest of my fucking life to appeal to a group of retards. That's okay. I'm okay with the world. I would prefer that world. Okay, 100%. Like the idea that I have to constantly rhetorically navigate where we lie over and over again because the other side gets to rape you in any hole they want at any point in time if you accidentally leave anything exposed is such a cucked loser way of approaching politics. Why doesn't the right have to constantly disavow the gripers? Why doesn't the right have to constantly disavow every insane right-wing movement? Like you're on this world where well, we have to get the entire Democratic Party unified to disavow the left, even though they've been calling you communists forever, even though Donald Trump openly praises leaders like Kim Jong-un and China and everything.
He's making good points. I still think it's dangerous, boys. I still think it's dangerous. But again, I don't know how we can placate people that don't exist in reality. I think that all we can do is try to appeal to those that don't vote and see if we can win over those people, the people that are against dying or killing. Because right now, the narrative is definitely going to be that, like, Charlie Kirk was killed for his views and he was made a martyr. Your everyday American that isn't plugged into politics is going to take that because the president said so. And they're going to be more likely to vote red. We have to combat that the same way Daryl Davis combated racism. And I think the only way we can do that effectively is by being the good guys. That's not the right word. But by standing against the things that Donald Trump wants. He wants us to play into the divisiveness. He wants us to be unhinged. He wants us to go out on Twitter and say fucking radical bullshit. because then it literally paints him as the person that's correct. He knew before it was all a problem. All roads lead to Rome. I don't think giving him the optic win is going to change the hearts and minds of everyday people. And in fact, it might convince more people that weren't going to vote to the right. If Donald Trump can win over 20% of the population that didn't vote, there will never be a Democrat again. So we have to be careful because there are real life consequences to the actions that we put on the screen and the things that affect everyday people. Destiny is right on a lot of these things, but I think that his conclusion is just doomer pilled to a point that it's unattainable. We have to try and risk not being them. And if we get eradicated in the process, then we get eradicated, dude. But maybe like another generation can rise up. I don't know. I don't think the whole solution is to just puff our chest and like we should be able to call out violence regardless of political ideology. And if the other side can't, well, hopefully in the marketplace of ideas that'll be pointed out to people in real time. But who knows? Germany let Nazis do what they did, even those that were against it. Nikki, what's going on, girl? Hope you had a good time. I was singing, and the guy looked in the window, so I made eye contact with him. He looked away immediately.
Everything else. No, it's retarded. At some point, we need to be able to bring it back to reality and have real world conversations. It's crazy.
No, but I completely agree. But the issue is that because of the radical left, they can try and legitimize their position. If you disavow them, you cede all accountability, and you kill two birds with one stone.
You can do both. Yeah, I think you should disavow them. I do. Yeah, I think everybody should too.
So,
but you can do both at the same time. I've been pushing that campaign for 5 years. What are you talking about? And everybody on the left.
I'm saying, yep. But I agree with you. I'm saying the Democrat Party, the whole institution of the Democrat Party should just push this all at the same time.
Well, hold on. I've been saying this for the past 6 months. Hasn't that been literally my entire thing?
You don't represent the whole Democratic Party. There are still crazy radical left.
No, but you're talking to me right now, and that's my whole thing in the past 6 months is then that you should disavow every motherfucker on the socialist communist left. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking to you, but I agree with you. I'm saying if you want a solution for a broader political landscape, I mean, if I'm talking to you, and of course, but we have to talk about the broader landscape. If we're talking to you, the world would be, if everyone was just like you.
Yeah, but what you're coming on, do you think that like people should like control the calories they eat and go on walks every day? Like you're just talking about irrelevant shit right now. Like I agree with you, of course. I push people to do that, of course. But right now we just had an assassination, and now all the Democrats are doing the apology game again. And the specific direct advice is answer like Elizabeth Warren, right? We would love for the temperature to be lowered in this country. Donald Trump needs to do it like first, and then we'll follow suit. That's what needs to be said.
Exactly. That's why it would be so important to just push that example really hard in the public. We condemn the radical left. You get them finally out of the party. You can have a unified messaging.
Well, no, but it's not appropriate to say I condemn the radical left right now. That's inappropriate because they want the blame to be on the radical left. But then they also play the word game because for them, the radical left is all Democrats. When Donald Trump says the radical left is Democrats, who's he talking about? He's talking about the whole Democratic Party.
Exactly, but if
he doesn't say radical left, typically he'll just say the Democrats are evil. It's like, fuck, man. How do you break bread with someone who's evil? Evil people are like people that have, killed, raped, have done terrible, terrible, terrible things. To call someone evil, that means there are no redeeming qualities in a person. I mean, I use hyperbole all the time when I'm talking about, Republicans. But typically, I'll be referring to, like, the thing they're saying. I mean, I have said some mean shit to, like, Asmongold, Charlie Kirk, Tim Pool, all these people. But I also openly admit that that's part of the problem, and I'm not exempt from that stuff. It's just crazy.
If you get the Dems to push it, at least you can cede accountability to the radical left, and you don't like the radical left either. So it's not like you take a losing position here. You kill two birds with one stone, literally. You get the Hassan Pikers out, and you can take away accountability. Like
I don't know what you're
that's
advising me to.
do.
I already agree with this. I already think that I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Your thing about disavowing Trump's rhetoric, that's.
Oh my God, what's up, Cracker Snatcher? It's been a lifetime. Bro, I'll never probably have Jack in the Box again. I'm up in Canada right now, dude. Fled the United States of America. No, I didn't. I got a girlfriend, and she asked me to come up, and I wasn't working, so I figured, fuck it. See what I can do. And if my YouTube doesn't work out, I'll just start looking for a job while I'm up here. Honestly, I should look for a job while I'm YouTubing, but we'll see how that goes. First, I got to get the passport thing cleared up. They might have it on the furthest west coast in Canada. I think isn't what that Vancouver or something like that. I don't know. America's slacking, exactly, dude. So what's up, Cracker Snatcher? You still doing the thing, bro? You still fucking riding and dying, bro? What's going on, dog?
All right, but that should be something you do in phase 2. Like phase 1 should be about getting the radical left out, getting control back of the Democratic
you can do both
Party, unifying.
You can do both at the same time, and you have to be able to dynamically respond to things. You can't just have one mission at any point in time when it comes to politics. You have to be able to contend with multiple things at once.
But I think we can both agree here that if you have radical left backstabbing you at any moment they have, it's not going to help your cause at all.
Yeah, I agree. Which is why sure.
Exactly,
but
and they will continue to use radical left as an example of the Democratic Party.
I will cuck myself out to the Republican Party for as long as it takes until the Democrats every single one disavows the radical left. Is that the answer? So until every single Democrat and all.
Yeah, surviving the politics. I feel that in my soul, bro. I feel that in my soul, bro. It's getting dangerous out there, man. I've only been up here for 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks and 2 days. I feel like I need to wear war paint leaving the home. Exactly, man. It's fucking... Dude, it's a shitty position to be in. America is supposed to be like this great thought experiment where multiple cultures can come together and live in some form of harmony and chase the American dream as long as they're willing to work hard for the world that they want. And we can't even do that anymore. And then Cosmic said, hi, Cracker Snatcher hardcore. But for some reason the word hardcore must not appear in there even though I have moderation off. That's crazy. What does this do? Go to live dashboard? What does that do? Oh, shit. I didn't know I could do all this. What the fuck? Oh my god, dude, guys, I can say something in here. Hi. That's cool. I apologize. I can see, yeah. I just say, but for some reason, hardcore wouldn't let it pop up in the chat, even though I turned off like all the, whoops, didn't even do that again. I turned off all content moderation on comments, but it still seems to be just being ridiculous.
All the New York Times and WAPO all stop platforming Hassan. I'll just keep cucking and letting myself get anally raped over and over again by all the right-wing bullshit talking points. Is that the answer?
No, you just cut down on the memery, cut down on the edginess, but you can still remain the same in terms of
no,
Trump
I'm
needs
good.
to do this.
I'll keep memeing and edging myself and my whole audience when
I would understand why. But see, let your hardcore be posted. Like, wait, what?
Matt Walsh is out here literally saying it's impossible to unify with the left.
But they control the media. That's the problem.
Good.
They
then let them.
They will use you as an example. You're just hurting your own cause because this isn't a prison dilemma.
I'm not hurting my own cause. You think I'm hurting my own cause because you think that the worst outcome is mutual violence. I don't think that. I don't agree with you.
I don't think that either.
Okay, then you're not. I would rather kill myself than optics cuck for the rest of my life. When we have to treat everybody like a retard. When the other side gets to literally play games like crazy. I would rather jump off my building. I'll go flying.
Agree,
okay, then if you agree, then what you're telling me is you're telling me to jump. Okay, I don't want to do this. It's retarded.
I'm not saying jump, but in terms of mutual violence, it's not just the Dems versus the Republicans. It's the Dems versus the Republicans and the radical left. You will lose.
Well, that's not entirely true, sir. It's the radical left, the radical right, Dems, Republicans, and moderates. Like, there are so many people in this pie, which is why I think that some of what Destiny's saying here is just not the right way to go. I'm not saying that we have to bend the knee at every possible turn, but anyone with any level of semblance is this, you should come out and just not condone violence. I'm not saying that like we're gonna lose elections because of what he's doing, but Destiny is also, do you know about the speak thing on here? So you might not want to have that as it breaks into your stream or whatever when I thought that was chat speak. You know what? I might just watch a whole video when I get off work today, once I'm done streaming, about how to properly fucking stream. I might do that tonight and look at like basic settings. Because yeah, there's so many things I want this thing to do and it doesn't do it. Yeah, I don't know why. Because I want all comments to be here on the side, even if they're mean, bro. Fuck it. You know, if someone wants to come in and be like, this fat fuck, like, whatever, dude. I'm cool. I don't care. Like, oh, super stretch. Oh.
Lose in mutual violence because you have two sides you're against. The right only has one side.
Okay, then that's fine. And I'll sneak over to the MAGA. Then I'll sneak over to the.
All I know is another streamer I know uses iSpeak, and you put that in the first type. I'm a completely oh, it comes on the stream. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a super chats when people like send a super chat. It'll be like Brian, oatmeal for brains. Got it. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I've been streaming longer than Queso, and he's the one that blew up. You know what I mean? You know, like, fuck, bro. I'm so glad that he made it, but, like, fuck, dude. I feel like I got robbed. I feel like I missed my time in the sun. But I'm glad he made it, dude. Queso, I think, from what I've seen, he's a good guy. And he's a funny guy. He's a good time. So, and he was consistent with it. That was my problem. I didn't stick with things, man. I would get depressed when I didn't see numbers move immediately after such a beautiful start to my day. Yeah, Queso made it. I mean, dude, I quit League of Legends, or I quit streaming multiple times. I'd go on like months hiatuses. Like, at the end of the day, the damage that happened to my channel and my growth was almost entirely self-owned. Like, early on in my career, I used to blame, like, Pokimane and beautiful girls like that that get all the views. But, like, that was such a childish view of looking at the world. Like, I know that when I would go on people's... So I'm going to go and make a tree and leaf. No! You got your community going here, though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it took some time. And now I'm just going to stay with it, bro. I'm not going to do no fucking runaway shit. I'm not going to fall into my own head. I don't even look at the numbers of people watching. I don't look at the views anymore. I haven't even looked at the amount of subscribers I have for like a month. Like, I'm just not going to play that game anymore, you know? And I'm not worried about it. Whatever is. These kids these days describe the meta as aura farming. Yeah, dude. It's fucking wild, dude. I can't really, like, the way that like the younger generation is talking about content here on YouTube. Like, I remember I did a Hassan video because I was just doing a reaction to something, and he wasn't even in the video. It was just mentioned, and a guy said I was chasing Hassan's clout. No, I was watching Mike from PA say some unhinged shit to justify doxing. Like, I don't give a fuck about Hassan's clout. In my perfect world, Hassan wouldn't be making content. Or if he did, he wouldn't have, like, 2 million subscribers.
the MAGA side at the same time, and then that's what America should be. Because that's
So
I think
what
it's
is
fine.
the solution? Because I feel like mine at least tries, but yours.
We've been doing yours.
do
I've been doing what you've been saying in particular for at least the last year. I've been fighting against tankies for a long time. But just because you have to disavow the left doesn't mean that you can't also say, yo, we're not going to be the ones that are constantly on our knees begging to turn down the temperature when Donald Trump himself won't do it. You can do both of these things at the same time.
You don't have to be on your knees.
Yes, if you are...
And Will, I don't know if you figured it out or not, but you can't get rid of me. As soon as I'm mentally able, I'll keep coming back. Nikki, you have no idea how heartwarming it is to know. Like, we have 5 viewers now. I know we have about like maybe 20 or 30 people that follow all of my videos. Like, if I post a video, I know Nikki's gonna watch it, even if it's about something she doesn't care about. You know what I mean? Like, she'll walk in and be like, look, I don't know what this is about, but I'm gonna watch it just because whatever. And then like I can actually see, I can't see in real time who watched how long, but I can go look at the video and see that like some people did watch like a big chunk of it. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. This is crazy. You know, and I have a handful of people that follow me into the depths, even when I post other shit. It's fucking awesome. Like, you know, my biggest fear was that I was going to be a Ren reaction channel and then only my Ren videos would get views and I'd still be in the same box. But like, you guys prove otherwise. You know, it's fucking awesome. Every day. You know, so now, you know, that fear of like losing my audience doesn't exist because I always have a handful of people that are going to make it worthwhile no matter what. And that's beautiful. That's awesome. And I don't expect people to watch every video I do. You know, that's ridiculous. I do a wide variety of content on a wide variety of things. And, you know, but it's awesome. A thing I noticed that if you go live on your phone, people on their phones can get connected to your stream through shorts. Ah, okay. I would feel bad to start using my phone after spending so much for my setup. That light right there was $200 that I can't even properly use because it has the wrong hookup for fucking Wi-Fi. They have a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection here, and this one is, yeah, you get a lot of trolls that way though too. True. But my webcam, $200. The green screen in my van that I have yet to bring in, $250. You know what I mean? Microphone, $100. Mic stand, I think it was $110. You know, I put in the money, I just didn't put in the time, I guess.
calling to turn down the temperature while Fox News is calling for civil war, that is you on your knees.
Facts.
If you're trying to say that again.
There's no point. The Democrats have been calling to turn down the temperature for a decade. And the Republicans think it's epic and base to keep platforming Trump.
Yeah, but that, as I said, that's because they...
When I'm really isolating, sometimes I don't leave comments, but I watch even if I'm in silent mode. Yeah, phones are ass. I'm all for the PC Master Race. Yeah, Nikki, you don't have to comment in every video. When you do, it makes my day better, but I understand. Your mental health is something you got to work on. And when you're going through a lot of shit, sometimes just being alone and quiet can be like a soothing experience. Just be careful, Nikki. Life is scary when you isolate. You know? I've done it a few times myself, and though sometimes I feel like it can save your soul, I feel like at the same time it can be like the burden or the weight around your soul. And it feels like an anchor just constantly pulling you further and further into, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Into the depths of the void, you know what I mean? Like, we all got something to offer this world, you know? No matter what we think that is, be it a fucking witty comment on the internet or an adorable little fucking anecdote, or in Rin's case, a dope-ass story to change the world. We all got something, buddy.
They are able to play the victim card because they point to the radical left as an example to the Dems. When
but they're not
That's
really the
point.
victims. That's the point. I don't want to sit here and keep playing. Then I don't want to play with that. Then go talk to another streamer, go to something else. I don't want to fake it anymore. It's so stupid. It's boring and dumb. Just somebody, I'll just give me an event, okay?
So
There's
does that
plenty of
mean
rifles
that
to
you
blow me up.
Okay, so does that mean you'll do it even if it's to your detriment?
It's not as much a detriment as it is to my psychology.
I love you, Will. I'm not isolating now, and it's because of people here reminding me that they remember me. Of course we remember you. Come on, Nikki. Yes, I'm so glad you're getting back out of it. We need you around. I need you around. Come on, girl. Pixie needs you around. Kia needs you around. I know the TTP needs you around, girl. Come on, it's all hugs up in here. We trying to have a good time. We trying to de-escalate. We watching these crazy videos to hopefully we can put some goodness in the universe again, man. We ain't trying to be unhinged. Oh, well. You were in my thoughts. The end. Fuck yeah, dude. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Pixie the fucking champion gonna come in here and mend hearts too. Tight-knit community, bro. Built on fucking genuineness, honesty, and trying to make a good thing happen. Even if it's just in a small little space of the internet.
To have to play this other retarded game. The reality is I don't believe that your strategy would be effective. You will never reach the level of disavowal that is necessary for Republicans to stop playing in Fantasyland.
True.
The reality is this didn't just happen in the last year. It didn't even happen with Trump 1. The Republicans have been building on this strategy for at least the better part of the last 3 decades.
The issue is, you're right, and the issue is it's working for them, and so they won't stop.
It's working, but part of the reason why it's working is because people are always on the defense, because retards have been convinced. People like you are saying things like, no, we just got to disavow the right people. We just got to purify our movement enough. We just got to make things perfect enough. Meanwhile, you're like, on the left, you're saying that we need to successfully disavow every single tanky, commie, whatever on the left, which I agree would be great. On the right, they are literally celebrating Andrew Tate. That's crazy.
And that's why it would be so good to do that, because if you separate the radical left, now you can unify the Democrats. Now,
well, no, he's got a point though. Destiny's cooking right here. Like, how are we supposed to kick out people like Hassan Piker? Well, I'm gonna go take a nap before I have to cook dinner for mom and feed the doggo. See you soon. Much love, Nikki. I want a picture of what you're cooking though, because like, I love me some food. Be safe, my dear. We're like, how the fuck are we supposed to sit here and call out people like Sean Piker, Brianna Greyjoy, you know, Emma Vigeland, you know, all these people that push, you know, extremist shit like Crystal Ball. You know, how are we supposed to push these people out of the party that say that like Israel-Palestine is a single voting issue and nothing else matters? When like it's like clearly if you care about the issue, you would want the person that's going to be not Donald Trump in office. How are we supposed to have these people on our side when they betray us every opportunity they get? We finally send a Democratic lawmaker to the Crystal Balls show or whatever the fuck it is, and she spends like 10-15 minutes trying to demand the ladies say that what's happening in Israel-Palestine is a genocide. Or people that say if you cut a fascist or cut a liberal, a fascist bleeds. Why are we, like, we already are, so many of us are calling this shit out, so many of us are saying it needs to stop, but then like when you look at the right, they still hold up Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes is still growing, you have Sam Hyde making direct messages to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they get thousands of views. You have people literally just blasting out, like doxing on Twitter right now over jokes when they ran on doing the opposite of that when they were trying to get into power, saying that Democrats were doing it before. How is it that one side can continually lift up the insane people on their side with no condemnation from the people in power? Why is it that one side, you know, is constantly self-correcting, self-policing and saying, hey man, maybe we shouldn't say these crazy words. Hey man, maybe we shouldn't be doing this unhinged shit. Why is it one side is continually defending its far extremes while the other side is trying to distance themselves from it? And then that one side that uses those far extremes as a fucking bludgeon or a tool or a vector of attack to fucking launch attacks towards the Democrats use the extreme left as like the device or structure that they gotta like that proves that all Democrats are like fucking insane. Like we get no grace and yet they get it all. It's so insane. Like we have Steve Bannon literally on actual like in an actual like recording while talking with like an article about how Trump is going to try and steal the election in 2020. He said it outright. We had Bernie Sanders come out and talk about these things. And guess what? He did exactly like what they said they were going to do. And yet, one side just doesn't give a fuck. And they're not cooling anything down. And we're told that we have to capitulate nonstop. Oh, what a shitty position to be in. There's no cure. I mean, maybe Destiny's 100% right here. Don't know, man. I just think that we need to appeal to people that aren't voting currently, who are getting fed up with the system and tired of being poor and tired of being fucked over and abused and seeing in real time like Americans lose their job because Donald Trump and Elon Musk decided to like just go cut the funding to USAID when like that was, you know, congressionally approved funding. What are we doing?
Oh,
you can't. That's never gonna. You're never gonna reach a point where you manage. Who do you even separate from these people? Like again, I think there should be broad disavowal, but it's not gonna happen to the level where you reach some political effectiveness. Even if you totally separated from them, they're gonna still tie you in with these people. They'll still say that you guys are commies, and they're still gonna believe it. What do you think the people on the right?
Yeah, maybe the right will say that, but at least you have a public example. I mean, this is for the broader electorate here. This will be good for. For the election, for the future election.
Okay, this guy got to my point. Let's see how Destiny would rip me apart then.
If we spend all of our time fighting with the far left, no. I think what's better for the election is have a strong liberal option.
You just publicly disavow them as strong as you can. You don't have to push anything other than that.
Sure, I agree with that. They should publicly disavow, but that doesn't mean you have to cuck out to Republican talking points. You can't, and then you keep saying, and then. It's not like one disavowal is going to eject all of them. There's still going to be a cancer in our politics.
No,
they're embedded in all of our media, in all of our staffer groups, in Congress. They are, unfortunately, not for the politicians themselves, but for the other people that run their offices. Like you're not going to get rid of all these people for the next like 30 years. You're talking about a project that's going to take until we're past like the next 3 civil wars to be finished.
So what do you want to do exactly? You just want to keep on saying
I don't understand.
Shit?
Hold on. I'm going to repeat myself one more time and then I'm done. I don't know why people keep asking me to say the same thing over and over again. You do not unilaterally disavow. You say Donald Trump needs to turn down the temperature. Once I hear him calling for disavow, we would love to follow suit. The temperature won't lower until he does it. If you want to disavow tankies and all that shit in the meantime, I think you should.
Let's use a level of argumentation to kind of defend what Destiny's saying. So a lot of people will say, especially people like Hassan Piker, I have no control of my audience. And no, you don't physically control your audience. But if people have built you up into like someone of like of importance in their life, you have influence, not necessarily control. And the larger your movement gets, the more influence you have, because as a mob grows, it becomes less intelligent. Okay, so we all know that. We believe that to be true. Like, we have evidence of that. So, we can prove this with, like, history. In 2020, when the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers stormed the Capitol, and a bunch of other people followed suit because they already saw someone doing it, so they joined in. They waged that for about 3 hours. It wasn't until Ashley Babbitt died that Donald Trump, after numerous staffers, including his own son, Don Jr., came out and said, we have to condemn the violence. You had people in Fox News and stuff like that saying you're going to ruin your legacy, while all this Rudy Giuliani and Trump were calling people within the hearing chamber and trying to like pressure them into accepting the fake electorates plot. Eventually, Donald Trump became a man and called off the sycophantic fans that were raging the Capitol. When he did, they stopped. in real time, then and there, and then they went home. It's kind of proof that like Donald Trump has an effective reign over his constituents. It's true. If Destiny, or not Destiny, but if Donald Trump were to come out today and stop calling for violence, like Fox News was fucking begging him to do, it would cool down political tensions. And it would put even Democrats at ease, because right now Democrats are the most worried they've probably been in a long time. What you're seeing from Destiny isn't just a political ideology. It's probably legitimate fear. Because Destiny is one of the few debaters that's willing to go to live places, debate with real people in real time. He's had people already get into his face on numerous occasions, from Alex Jones even touching him in a debate where Destiny had to say, bro, you need to back the fuck up. To one guy literally getting inches within Destiny's face, calling him a bunch of terrible names. Donald Trump needs to fucking do his job as President of the United States of America. He took an oath to defend all American lives, not just those that voted for him. Failure to do so means he should probably be impeached. But that's only my own personal opinion that no one really notices, so, you know.
The temperature won't lower until he does it. If you want to disavow tankies and all that shit in the meantime, I think you should. And then I do this. I think you should continue to do this. I don't know what's so confusing about this answer. I feel like I've said this like 50 times.
It's confusing because you admit that the right dominate the media, and you admit that
part of why they dominate the media is because of what you're saying right now. Is because they make us play defense all the time. Why doesn't the right feel the pressure to disavow Andrew Tate? Why doesn't the right feel the pressure to hardcore disavow the Groyper movement? Why doesn't the right feel the pressure to hardcore disavow all of the anti-Semitic shit like that's happening? Like there's no pressure on the right to disavow everything. It's always like, what do we have to disavow? What do we have to defend against? How do we have to purify our movement? Constantly, over and over and over again. That's crazy. That's not a winning strategy. You need a point to attack on. You need a strong position to defend, and then you have leaders in that movement. And if you want to disavow shit, they're not part of us for a reason. That's fine, but you have to have the strong movement first. It can't be a separatist thing where we just try to like move as many people out that don't agree with us. I know what us is right now. Aside from Gavin Newsom, we don't have strong leadership on the left to do it. So this idea we just need to cut out more and more and more people before building a strong base first is stupid. And the strong base starts by separating yourself from the truly different people, which are the Republicans, which are the right. And at the same time, I think that also pulls the plug on some of the lefty shit because they sit here and say both parties are the same anyway, which they're not.
But you shouldn't give them an attack vector.
They are
by being edgy.
Okay.
I mean,
you're wrong. You're just wrong. I don't like. You're saying don't give them an attack vector. Well, they've got 14-year-old kitty Roy Moore that they're pushing for Congress in special elections at the behest of Steve Bannon, who founded the alt-right Breitbart. Like it's so fucking retarded. I don't understand how. I don't know how to make you people understand. I can't at this. There's nothing else I can say.
Oh, I understand.
You're on a left. You're a guy in the Coliseum. You're fighting a dude who's ass naked, who's a diabetic who's dying on the field with a sword trying to stab you and kill you, and meanwhile you're a dude with 2 tower shields and full plate mail, and you've got like a little patch on the back of your neck, and you're like, oh, we can't fight yet until we patch this thing up, and the guy in front of you is like barely breathing. It's so stupid, this strategy. They always have an attack vector.
You admit that you're not in the same, that both prisoners are not in the same position, and yet you're trying to use the rational way, which is
like if we capitulate to them, they're just gonna make up new reasons to be unhinged. It doesn't matter. They're not living in the realm of facts. Like my comment section on my Asmongold video kind of proves this, where they'll be like, well, the Democrats are Orwellian. Dude, both sides are Orwellian. What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about? Donald Trump is breaking constitutional law by deporting people without due process. He's nulling and voiding states' rights by sending in the National Guard without the request of the governor. Like, what are we talking about? They're going to make up whatever the fuck they want. They're not dealing in the realm of reality. They're just not. And no matter how many times we point to it, they'll just be like, well, who paid for the study? Who reported on the news? What is, like, they don't trust fact checkers, bro. They said fact checkers need to be banned. Like Joe Rogan said that. What do we do when fact checkers aren't allowed to do fact checks? Like we can't pull up the information and put it next to each other and be like, right, wrong. Be like, sorry, that's against my worldview. I disagree with that. It's like, okay, bro. Okay, cool.
By using the same type of method
They're not yet. No, but the position that we're in isn't that they are better. It's just that they're always on the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And you're calling for us to be more defensive, to defend more and more and more and more. Yes.
No, you're able to attack if you're unified. That's when you're able to attack. But not when you're getting backstabbed constantly.
Sure. So you disavow, but you still need.
I think we can agree there.
Okay.
My boy.
I don't really know what we disagree with apart from. You just feel shameless if you don't do it. Which is
the thing is, you think that like if you were to put 100% of effort into separating us from the tankies, which I think the Democratic Party should do, by the way, so we don't even disagree on that. Yeah. If we were to do that, the attacks from the Republican Party would go from 100 to 99.6. You seem to think that there's some basis in the Republicans called Obama a communist for the entirety of his presidency.
Yeah, but no one believes that isn't an idiot.
Everybody on the right believed it. What are you talking about? They all believe that the Democrat.
My father believes that Obama was a communist. You can drive through a state in Indiana where they'll just have up straight up signs, capitalism or communism, pick your choice. They do think that people on the left are just straight up communists. Hell, even I do it to some extent when I'm talking about socialism. But I have my particular reason for it. But when I mean to socialism, it's because I think that most of them, or not most, a big chunk of them are hidden communist. And they're using socialism as a way to like breach into the Democratic Party, and then they slowly want to push more and more people to the far end of the left spectrum. Calling someone a communist to me is no different than calling someone a Nazi. To me, they're the same fucking thing. They're both pretty fucking disgusting. Communism has killed more people than I think communism even killed more people than Nazis did. Nazis killed, what, 6 million people? Or was it like 6 million Jews and then like a couple mil of other people? Like, communism has killed like 80 million people, bro, if not more. Like, there's not even like an equivocal exchange there. No, bro, fuck that. Like, the fact that like I get called a communist because like I vote blue sometimes and I believe in like liberal ideologies, and I believe that 12 million at least. Yeah, it's fucking, what are we doing, man? Like, the difference is that people on the left started owning the communist label, and they took it back, kind of like the way African Americans took back the N-word. But like, the radicals on the right didn't take back the N-word, their version of Nazi. They said, no, that's gross, we don't like that word. Okay, well then stop calling fucking people on the right or left communist, dude. What are you doing?
For the party of socialism and communism.
Okay, but let's say someone that's like right-leaning now, Joe Rogan, does he believe Obama is a communist?
I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Who knows what he believes?
How big is Joe Rogan's base who are not full MAGA but are still right-leaning? They're still on the right. Most of them probably don't think of Obama as a communist either. You don't have to fight. MAGA are a lost cause. You now need to try and get people from the center-right to realize that the Republicans
I agree.
are not the
I
Republicans
agree.
of the past.
MAGA are a lost cause. That's 98% of the Republican Party. So what we should do is build a strong left, build a strong liberal party. That's what we should do. And that doesn't start by disavowing everything that the Republic. But that starts with you determining yourself, what your values are, what you believe in, and then building on that. Not looking to the right and go, okay, well, who's the right attacking today? Oh, trans people? Okay, well, you got to disavow the crazy trans people. Who are they attacking? Oh, they're still attacking the crazy trans people. Oh, and the socialist communists? We got to disavow them next. Okay. Oh, now who are they attacking? Oh, shit.
No.
That's what you're saying. Yes, you're letting them.
But how can you have values if you do not disavow the radical left? How can you build values?
Because the disavowal is a byproduct of the movement that you build. It's not a focus. You don't build a movement to reject tankies. You build a strong liberal movement that is a byproduct of what it believes in, rejects tankies. It just happens. Yeah. I mean, you should also like verbally affirm this and everything as well and draw distinctions. Again, I agree with this. Again, I've been doing this for the past year, right? But you can't live in the criticisms of your opponent. That's what they've done that's why they've been so successful. And again, if you want a successful movement, I would argue to some extent, MAGA's been incredibly successful. They're not doing any of the things that you suggest. They never disavow. They never recognize
They did in the beginning.
What? What did they disavow at the beginning?
They disavowed the far right until they started getting more popular.
When did they disavow the far right ever? What?
Like in the 2010s-ish.
In the 2010s, they spent the majority of their movement in capital. Jordan Peterson and all these people were out here arguing that Nazis weren't even far right. They relabeled them to socialists.
No. But the electorate, like during Obama's period, most people were not like the people now that are centrists and are now actually Republicans. They weren't the type of people that they are now back then. They were much more liberal. They believed in much more political speech. It's become increasingly radical. It's become increasingly fascist, increasingly nativist, all because they started getting more powerful, and then they started, through the domination of the media, they started just slowly putting in more radical information. It wasn't like this before.
It wasn't like this before, I agree, but part of their strategy has been attack. It's never been disavowing. I don't know where this disavowal thing comes from.
Well, if they didn't believe in it at first, then they would have disavowed it, and they did disavow it. I mean, Nick Fuentes was disavowed. I mean, he's becoming crazy popular on the right now. That would never happen 10 years ago. That would never happen 15 years ago. Never. And I think we can agree on that.
I don't know if I would agree on that. Al Gore literally had his election.
Nick Fuentes?
I don't know. Al Gore literally had his election forfeited to him. Donald Trump could barely disavow. I don't even know if he did. Disavow the Ku Klux Klan leader. Meanwhile, the left has to disavow every single. I remember when they talked about the Weather Underground was associated with Obama. I remember all the old Obama conspiracies. Remember you're saying disavow. One of the biggest attack vectors on Obama was it wasn't Farrakhan. What was the name of it? Was like the.
And that was the birther movement. I also know that they made a lot of because I remember as a truck driver back then when Obama was in his first phase. And look, I'm gonna tell you a brief story. I'm just gonna get this out there. I remember when Obama was in office. If I ever wanted to have any entertainment for the night, I would turn on my CB radio, and I would just go, "How about that, Obama?" Bro, these radios would light up in these parking lots at Love's, Pilot, Flying J, and TA. And my God, the amount of racial shit I heard was insane. Sometimes it broke up into a fist fight in the parking lot. I'd be sitting in my truck eating my fucking ramen. Oh, dude, they're fucking going at it, dude. Radio blaring. Everyone's saying the most horrendous shit. Violence has been brewing for a long time.
It was his preacher in his church. They started listening to his sermons. And I remember that whole God bless America, God damn America, the chickens have come home to roost. And then you would be on here on my stream saying next, oh, well, we should be disavowing crazy pastors. It never ends. There's an infinite amount of material for people to attack.
That's super esoteric. I mean,
listen, you're young or you're in another country. I lived and breathed this stuff. It was not esoteric. I heard that clip played a million times. The chickens have come home to roost. God damn America. I heard that played so many times. This and a million other attacks against Obama.
Whoa.
Yep. Yeah, on right-wing media. I don't think the normie really cares about these things. The normie isn't.
Well, hold on. The normies were the ones that said they couldn't vote for Obama because he was a Muslim and he wasn't born in America. We heard that with McCain and Obama's speech. Hold on. No. The leaders of movements are usually nowhere near as radical as their constituents or their viewers or the people that follow them. They're always more radical because obviously the leaders of movements usually typically gain some level of pedigree by being the leader of a movement. And because they're trying to gain as many followers as possible, the things they push are usually going to be nowhere near as extreme as those that believe in them. We can see this all the time. Because even people that were part of the civil rights movement wanted to get violent. It took people like Martin Luther King to say, no, we refuse to get violent. And to reaffirm that belief numerous times. The problem now is that the leaders of the Republican movement are being violent. If you were to ask me who is more extreme or more radical or a little more further in their sauce between the voters. You know, a few years ago, I would have always told you it was the left. It is by design that the left is a little slightly more radical. Typically, conservatives want to conserve the way life is at the time they are conservative. So, for example, during the gay rights movement, conservatives wanted to keep marriage between man and a woman. They didn't want to change anything because they didn't know if there were going to be what the negative ramifications of that change would be on their society. And we had no way to determine that without doing the change. So a conservative's argument is that I don't want to change this because right now things are working the way it is. And according to my religion, it says that we shouldn't change this. The radical move was to come out and say, look, dude, sorry, I apologize. We believe that gay marriage should be a choice. And we don't give a fuck about what your religion says. We're going to make this change because we believe that anyone who is anybody has the right to do things that they deem worthy in their own life. Be it they marry their lover, the people that they're after, you know, like all of these things matter. And by changing a pre-existing law, by definition, that's going to be more radical. But nowadays, because the leaders of the radical of the left and the right's leadership has gotten very, very radical. And now we're starting to see those radicals increase. And we're seeing more unhinged shit coming from the right. The problem isn't necessarily about the people who vote, because you can't really tell people what to think and how to feel. That's called thought policing, and we don't get to do that. All we can do is meet on the marketplace of ideas, and typically that's what the leaders of each movement do. But when one of those leaders starts pushing radical bullshit, it's going to make their base even more dangerous. And that's where our problem lies. But this young man, I believe, he's talking about things that are correct, but he's wrong in his analysis. I don't want to be where Destiny is right now. I don't think that's the option. I think that we might still have our hands on the reins, and we might be able to slow down this progression. But I totally am wrong. I could totally be wrong. And if I am, Destiny's totally right. And this is something that we need to be prepared for. We need to start paying attention to what's happening in the right, and we need to start calling it out in real time constantly. We need to start becoming the attack vectors. We need to go after the radical shit. We need to be honest about the things that Charlie Kirk said, despite the fact that he was shot. Just because he was shot doesn't mean that everything he said is now a free pass. Charlie Kirk said morally reprehensible bullshit that needs to be brought to light, and we can't just wipe it under the rug because we feel bad about what happened. We need to call out the violence, but we also need to be honest about what happened and why it happened. We need to talk about the statements the man made and how harmful it could be to those that he made it to. Like, we can't just sit idly by and let the right continually attack us nonstop. We need to stand up and make our voices heard, but we need to do that through speech and by calling out and pointing out where hypocrisies are and failures in logic are. I'm on board for that all the way. But we need to be prepared that violence is a potentiality, because if Donald Trump isn't willing to stem that temperature, it's not going to go away.
Isn't that into politics? I mean, you know this for sure. The average person just doesn't care. If you can just show that you're a part of your principles, you get rid of the radicals so you can see the accountability that the far right.
For the average person who doesn't care, you just stand on strong liberal principles. The average person doesn't know what the tanky is or a Marxist-Leninist is. You don't have to disavow.
When the average person sees Charlie Kirk get murdered and every single social media platform being filled with it's all the trans, it's the left, the Dems. Yeah, that's going to radicalize them, or at least going to push them.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with us disavowing tankies.
True.
Well, it can, because then you can see the accountability, of course.
To what?
To the radical left, so that...
What does the radical left even have to do with this right now?
Well, the right wing so when the right wing attacks you, it's because they first claim victimhood and they say it's in self-defense. They're lying, but they say it's in self-defense. And then they always point to examples. The examples they point to is always the radical left, and they try and point.
What's the first example that they pointed to? The first example they pointed to was that it was a trans shooter. That was incorrect. Then they tried to make it sound like it was some terrorist-trained super soldier guy. That was incorrect.
Yeah, you just proved my point. They're trying to always point it to someone on the radical left and
Yes,
then blame it
but
on
it's
the Dems.
working
Exactly.
even when the reality isn't there to support it. It still worked. That first day or two of huge media was still really effective, even though they were literally talking about nothing. Donald Trump came out the same day and blamed the radical left before we even know who the shooter was.
Yeah, so if you completely erase the Democrat Party from that position, you won't be scathed. You won't be harmed.
But there is no Democratic Party supporting trans radical shooters.
I know, but they try and point it as if you make it super open. The issue is that the left media is so fractured. The left media is, a lot of it is dominated, unfortunately, by the radical left, by the Hassan Pikers.
It's the left media is fractured, and I agree, but it's fractured because they're so cucked. The firing of Chris Dodd is more of a condemnation, or Matthew Dodd, or whatever the guy is more of a condemnation of left media than the retarded it's at WAPO and New York Times interviewing Hassan Piker.
We saw the same thing happen with Tenacious D, bro. Heartbreak. Kyle Gass made some funny jokes against Trump about the assassination attempt. And then Jack Black had to kick him out of the D. What? Where is that on the right, dude? Like, the right can come out and say so much unhinged shit and they just don't care. Like, a woman called a fucking, like, what was it, like an 8-year-old or 7-year-old kid the N-word, and she made $1 million through GoFundMe? We give careers to racists for what reason? I don't think there's any going back, man. The right needs to simmer the fuck down. And if they're not going to, America as we know it is over. They don't get to call themselves patriots anymore. They're going to kill the American dream. Ironic, it's the patriots that do it in, huh?
Like the reason why the media on the left is fractured is because of what you're saying. It's because they don't want to have Trump derangement syndrome, and they're trying so hard to be critical of themselves and disavow the crazies and to be fair and balanced. Meanwhile, on the right, they don't give a fuck about any of that. It's because all of them are practicing your strategy. That's why they fired the guy 2 days ago.
Yep.
I mean, listen, it is just bad optics what he said during that time because everyone believes in dominated right media. I mean, I can understand why they did that for the organization's sake, even though he probably shouldn't have been fired.
So instead of firing the guy because it's dominated by right-wing media, how about everybody defends the guy and they just start rolling clips of some of the insane shit Charlie Kirk has said over the past few years?
Facts.
Yeah, that works perfectly. That works perfectly, but the right will always blame the radical left.
Then let them do it. Then fight on your own side. Fight aggressively instead of trying to patch every single possible attack
How
vector.
are you going to fight if you're
Yeah, you can't defend all of the time. Even in League of Legends, like when you're playing defense game, defense can be good, but you have to switch into attack every once in a while. You have no choice. Eventually, if you want to take ground, you have to meet someone in the marketplace of ideas. You have no choice.
You're fractured because you're not fighting.
No, you think it's cocked to disavow the radical left. I think it's the opposite. I think it's not cocked. I think you're cocked if you keep on not disavowing radical left. You keep on allowing them to f you over every day, to destroy your messaging every day. That is the cocked position. If you don't get them out fast, you don't get them out in a strong way, you don't condemn them as hard as possible, you are being cocked by them. They will eventually infiltrate your party and they will take over.
Okay, we'll see what happens, I guess.
All right. Thanks, man.
Be careful.
See ya.
Well, it's 2:30. I'm probably gonna end it here, get some lunch, try and take a shower before my lady gets home. Upload some videos, stuff like that. Thank you guys for watching. There's a lot to think about here, a lot to unpack. I don't know what we do to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. The next stream. I'll upload some videos tonight from this stream and the last stream and stuff like that. And I'll start burning through it. We're just going to keep growing. We're going to keep doing things. And hopefully one of these days I get invited on one of Wix panels, and maybe I can throw my hat in the ring with some of the greats and see what I can do. But until then, we're going to be sitting here doing our bullshit, reacting to music, occasionally some politics, occasionally some video games, maybe watch some other reactors do some funny shit or something. And, you know, just fuck around and find out. Have a good time. Party as hard as we can. Anyway, love you guys all. Talk to you guys soon, and I'll see you guys in the next, video or stream. Until then, stay safe. Keep fighting for a peaceful resolution in all aspects of your life. And, you know, defend yourself when you have to. We all need each other in this crazy world. All right. Peace.